Hello and welcome to this episode of SPSS one-on-one series with Warrior Analytics. Today we look at how to check for interaction in a binary logistic regression model analysis. This is part of a series of videos that we are making on binary logistic regression analysis. I highly recommend that you check on the previous videos where we saw how to check for assumptions of binary logistic regression in SPSS and how to select which variables to include in your analysis. Now that we selected our variables, we now move ahead to check for interaction. Okay? We are continuing where we stopped with the previous episode using the dataset called ADL that comes pre-installed with SPSS, and we had run bivariate analysis. We saw that only two variables, hypertension and PSD, had a p-value less than 0.2 at bivariate analysis, so they are considered for multivariate analysis. Why did we choose this? Because our sample size was not adequate. If you don't know how to establish whether your sample size is adequate or not, consider watching our previous video on selecting variables in linear regression analysis, where we explained selection of variables in depth using the statistical method, sample size considerations, and then a priori criteria. So today we check for interaction in our variables. Whenever we talk about interaction, always remember two things: forming interaction terms and then comparing models. You form interaction terms and it is called a full model. One without interaction terms is called a reduced model. This is what we mean. So far we saw that we are going with these two variables. So when we are forming interaction terms and our sample size is not adequate, we only form interaction terms between the significant variables, or those variables that are going in for multivariate analysis. So in this case, we have our hypertension and PSD. Then we are going to form an interaction term between hypertension and PSD. And an interaction term is basically a product term of the two basic variables. We are going to form one with interaction terms and one without interaction terms. When we go to analyze regression and binary logistic, let me reset this. We have our outcome, diabetes, and then we said only these two variables, hypertension and PSD, passed bivariate analysis or had a p-value less than 0.2 at bivariate heads were considered for multivariate. So we would consider this, define the categorical ones. Both are actually categorical. Maybe I will use the first one as reference. Then I continue. I run this model. So this is my model without interaction terms. This model is called a reduced model. Because of the sample size limitations, I'm forming interaction terms between these two variables to see if themselves they interact. So I'm going to again go to logistic regression, binary logistic, as opposed to how we formed interaction terms in linear regression manually by computing. Here you can also just form the interaction term between hypertension, click on it, then hold down Control and click on the second variable. You will see that this button is activated. Before, when you only select one, it is inactive. But when I press Control and select the two variables, it becomes active and I push it there. So I'm putting there an interaction term between hypertension and PSD, which are both categorical variables. So I'll click OK. This model with basic variables and the interaction term is what we call the full model. The one without interaction term, we call it the reduced model. So why do we even need to know the full model and reduced model? In SPSS, checking for interaction is also more of a manual process. Before this table, we had a model summary here giving us the -2 log likelihood. These are the values that we use for assessing for interaction. Each of these models, this one, the full model has, and also the reduced model, which only had basic variables, also has a value. So these are the two values that we use to compare these two models. Which one is better, the one with interaction terms or the one without? So if the one with interaction terms is better, then it means there is interaction. So let's see what we mean by this. When checking for interaction, we get the difference between these two values. We get the value for the reduced model, the -2 log likelihood value, and we subtract the one for the full model. So we get for the reduced, the one without interaction terms, that is 60.7, minus the one under model summary for the full model, which is 57.6. Okay? So we obtain that difference between those two values. In this case, it is 60.7 minus 57.5, which is about 3.167. Once we obtain this, now we come and compare. Okay? We compare the difference with the critical value of chi at degrees of freedom, which are equal to the difference in parameters between full model and reduced model. What we mean is, when you run this full model, which has interaction terms, these are what we are calling parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the constant. If we were to write out this model, logit of x equals alpha plus beta 1 plus beta 2x plus, those are the parameters. So here we have 4 parameters. If we look at the reduced model, the one without interaction terms, we only have this, and this. So these are 3 parameters. So we get the difference between the parameters. It gives us the degree of freedom. So here, 4 minus 3, we get 1. And so we use that to go to the chi table, and we obtain the critical value of chi. When you look at the critical values of chi distribution at degrees of freedom 1, and then at alpha level 0.05, the value is 3.841. And if the calculated value is less than the critical value of chi at these degrees of freedom, then there is no interaction. So in this case, we can see that since the difference, this one, 3.167, is less than the critical value, 3.841, then there is no interaction in our model. So that is how they assess for interaction in binary logistic regression in SPSS. It is not a straightforward process in SPSS, but trust me, it's a very simple procedure once you understand the reason behind why you're doing what. So next we look at how to check for confounding, how to interpret our model, and how to report our results. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss out any of our episodes. If you have any concern or any comment, feel free to leave it in the comment section. We shall be glad to respond to it. See you in the next episode.